Yes, family, karibuni sana. I hope you guys are doing amazing. And of course, good afternoon from my end. Karibu sana, K. Williams. And of course, thank you for letting me know about the sound. And big up to everyone with me on TikTok, everyone with me on Facebook, on YouTube, on the radio station. I hope I'm audible enough. Kindly let me know before we get started, before time rounds out on me and I'm ranting here and I don't know if the sound is okay, but on my end I say we are fine. But karibuni sana. I hope your week has been fantastic and of course blessed Friday. Karibuni sana. Today we shall be talking about Burundi and of course this is a discussion that was actually debated on one of the shows of the African Diary on what happened a couple weeks ago. That was in Burundi. There's something actually, some sort of war that is developing over there, and we see that actually the Burundi government has come forth and it's accusing Rwanda for these particular killings that has been happening, especially of civilians that is in the parts of Burundi, parts of the country. So karibuni sana, shall be talking about that, and of course I'll be sharing a few videos here as we get into some straight facts, because every day we're always learning something. Good morning to you too, K. Williams. Hope you're doing amazing, and of course I hope you can hear me right now straight and clear. That was Modaka playing right here, and of course I hope you guys are banging to the jam. Without wasting much of the time, I want to go back to the music one more time and of course come back with the quote of the day, and of course as we get started with the conversation of today. This is Capnea featuring Caterpillar Machupa. Hope you guys get to enjoy. I'll be back after this short musical break. Karibu sana Mamaina, karibu Seso Theo, karibu sana to everyone with me on TikTok. If in case you're looking for a job, kindly do DM me, rather DM this account or rather our Instagram page that is on the under the Black Hot Fire Network Radio. If in case you have any question you'd love to be answered, this is not the right place. Kindly do DM us, rather contact us 0705-428-388. You can send an email to us, kissingmusam15@gmail.com, rather at blackoutfire network 254gmail.com. Yes, karibuni sana once again, and this is the Pan-African Bliss Show, and this is the Black Hot Fire Network radio station, media of the 21st century, and of course it is exactly, ICK Williams is giving me his time update on his end. On my end, it is exactly 6 minutes past 1 p.m. I don't know for those who are with us on other parts of the world what's the time, but ICK Williams says it is 5:03, that is 5:03 on your end, and of course, good morning. I hope you're getting ready for work and you are ready for today as you wind up with the week. My quote of the day today as you wind up the week is the best way to lose is the weight of other people's opinion. And I hope as you've begun a new year, you're looking forward to, growth and a lot of, literally total growth in your life. You are getting off the weight of other people's opinion, the burden of other people, your family members. We've been talking about black tax and all that, and a lot of things that happens, especially within our black community. So I hope you're getting to lose the weight of other people's opinion or even expectations. Okay, that is my quote of the day, and a happy blessed weekend. ICK Williams says that Jovi, you are hiring people now. Yeah, I've been hiring people. What you talking about, man? Can't you see the growth that we've been doing on the Black Hot Fire? I mean, how many are we? How many did we start when we left that is Spike's place? But just the two of us, and I've given a lot of people the job opportunity that they require. And if anyone is fit for the job, why not? If you fit for the job, why not? But I also see you saying that, well, you hire come on. No, hell no, I don't do that. We don't do that. I don't do that. Trust me. Even when it comes to the friends side, I'm really considering that a lot. Like, never give family, friends any job opportunity. Like, that is really, really, really something you need to check on very, very seriously. You need to really check on very seriously. But anyway, so starting with the matters of the day, I want to share a couple of videos right here. And one of them is kind of negative, and I'm going to be talking negative about it. This is coming right here from the 254, and I want to attach this with a little bit of history of us black people, because there's this man, I don't know what's up with the tribalistic things. So I think we were talking about the other time when we were learning about the 1811 history that happened on 8th of January, that is in 1811, that we had some people that is in New Orleans who are still practicing tribalism and all that. But back in the continent, this is still a thing, This is still a thing that's stuck with us. And it is so sad even when we talk about political matters. When we have elections, every time you're going to hear Africans claiming, oh, it is our very own. I don't know how many of you have seen the picture I've shared on WhatsApp as well. It is super crazy, super crazy. But every time we have elections or anything political going on, or even just us as black people right here back in the continent, we move with this motion and agenda of Luo, this tribe, this tribe, this tribe. And where has it taken us so far? Nowhere. But it is quite shocking when you talk about neocolonialism today, and every single day when you talk about how Africa is fighting neocolonialism in the continent, we have other people practicing it and welcoming our very dear own enemies and saying, we're tired of being Africans. It's a high time we now start mixing our breeds and start moving to, in-laws who have visas. We need to take visas and go to other places. It is super crazy. It is super crazy. So I want to share this and translate it. And of course, I'll be attaching it with a little bit of history again of why black people need to be cautioned of who you're dealing with. What is their history? Because there's a time I questioned a few weeks ago, who or anyone, any black person who can come and tell me, we have a book that explains the history of a white man, then give it to me. But so far, so good. What I've been seeing is just the history of black people being debated left, right, and center, and which has been destroyed by the same people who won't talk about their history. So let me share this very quickly. And before we get into the other matters, I want to start with this first video. Coming from the 254, I'll translate it where necessary.
Wakisi tunaoana wenyewe kwa wenyewe kwa sababu tunaogopa kizungu. Ulisema tunaoana Wakisi peke yetu, kwa sababu
you can see my screen very well. Let me try broaden the screen because it is a video coming from Instagram and majority of you might not or have a short sight like me. So let me try enlarge the screen and you guys let me know if you can see as far as much as you can from there. So that is what we have right here. These are white people in some county, which is the Kisii region. I think majority of you knew from coming from there. But this is the Kisii County where we have these tourists. I think they are tourists, or I don't know what their agenda, what they were doing literally in this place. But the video caught my attention. And when we speak about where Africans need to wake up and understand who we're dealing with, who is our enemy, what are we embracing, this is the kind of things we're talking about. So it first starts by saying, oh, you guys say that Kisis, we're scared of marrying each other because, oh, we don't know how to talk English. That is the first thing. We should know English is also another language, also trying to fight back in the continent. But let me continue. Okay, I see my screen is hanging. I don't know what's happening. Let me try again. Okay, there's a buff, but let me try that again.
mulisema Wakisii tunaoana wenyewe kwa wenyewe kwa sababu tunaogopa kizungu. Mulisema tunaoana Wakisii peke yetu kwa sababu tunaogopa kuongea kizungu. Tumeamua kwamba sisi maneno ya Wakisii, hata Wakisii sasa hatutaki. Hata kuongea Kiswahili tena hatutaki. Tumesema tunaenda international. Tumesema sisi ni watu tunaolewa mahali visa inahitajika. Mahali unapanda ndege ndio unaenda kusalimia wakwe. Tumesema sisi na hapa loko tumetoka. Tumesema sisi ni watu international. Sasa sisi ni watu wa visa and above. Saa hii kama wewe ni msichana unaniongelesha na wewe ni Mkamba, sitaitika. Kama wewe hauvai sunglasses kama hii, haujipaki sunscreen, sitakuongelesha.
Red flag. We've been talking about, I think it has taught us about how dangerous, especially sunglasses are, especially to us melanated people. We do not, or the reason why white people wear sunglasses, there's a reason behind it, because they lack something that we have, and that's why we should not be having sunglasses. But he goes ahead and says, oh, you know, I'm not going to be marrying no more of black women. I want to go to the white women. Basically, that's what he's trying to promote in this video. And we have the fellow black men over there and women laughing. And majority of the crowd also right here is white people. So what is my, or rather, why am I bringing this video forward and into, you know, into knowledge? Because of the next video I'll be sharing. And because of what we're literally fighting right now, today in Africa. We're talking about Chinese, Indians, these people taking over the continent. I mean, look at Jamaica. Look at Jamaica. How is it today? We have Chinese who have literally invaded this particular place. We have Chinese who have literally invaded this particular place. And Jamaicans cannot do anything about it. We saw recently in Ghana the same thing. In Kenya. I mean, another thing also learned this week, and I think Kit has been talking about it, where when we had slaves being taken back from Africa to all the west parts of the world, we also had Indians being distributed, if that's the best term I can use, everywhere, in every part of the world. But this literally coming from our fellow people, this is just so sad, being honest. This is so sad. Well, yesterday we were talking about how we have so many people who are literally pushing and going where the wild animals now live, because we're trying to expand our civilization now to the bushes. And this is why we see now animals coming and attacking people, and they have the nerves of telling us how we should curb this situation, while you're grabbing land and giving to this kind of people. I mean, I don't know if Africans are getting something from this, but let me finish it and then share the next video.
Tumesema sisi ni wazungu and above. Hata wa China hatuguzi, wa Italy hatuguzi, wa Germany hatuguzi. Tumesema ni United States of America and above. We are Thank you. Na Mukisi yeyote nikikupata na Mukisi mwenzako nitakukimbisha mpaka uingie Timbuktu. Thank you so much.
This is so crazy. This is what we talk about self-hatred, and this is highly promoted in this video. This is basically what I'm learning from this video. What I spoke about, I think, a few weeks ago. Africans not understanding self-hate, how they promote it, how we push it, how we embrace it. This is how. Basically, this is how. Because you don't want to get married or even now want to recreate with your own race. You want to go to the Mzungu. But let me tell you something about the Mzungu that you don't know, my fellow African people. Have you been taught this in history? Because again, I want you to question. Where in the world have you seen any book that talks about the existence, the creation of the white man? It is always us who evolved from the monkeys again. Or from Homo sapiens, from Homo erectus, Homo sapiens sapiens, and all that they wrote in the book. But another fact about them, this is it.
Slavery, when they had the big rebellion with Nat Turner, he was cannibalized after they killed him. They ate him, few people, and they would actually eat the people that they would lynch. So this was something that was a part of the white supremacist culture, consuming us literally.
Because they know you are what you eat. So if a white man eats you or eat me, he believes that he becomes us. And I know it's strange because I conquered them, but I'm going to devour what I've conquered.
Yeah. So that is just a little bit snippet of it. I think I'll be able to share maybe the rest of the video tonight if I do much details or diggings about it, because that is something you are not told as African people. You're here embracing how you want to become ancestors and in-laws of white people, but you're not told, if you go to these Arabic countries, once again, like the government keeps on pushing it, go get greener pastures, because they've not been able to create opportunities right here. No employment. That is what you get to face. How many cases have we had of Black people who go missing, especially in America? I still dwell on that case of that white man who killed a Kenyan woman in, I don't know, I tend to forget the name every time. If Keith is in the building, he can kindly write it down. But that place where it's just no people, just a land with no people, literally just white people. That lady disappeared. The family tried to seek justice till to date. And majority of the cases, and so on and so on. So I don't know till when African people need to be taught or educated that we are supposed to be friends of each other and not trying to seek validation from these white people. Because another fact is, let me share this. These are some of the videos. I think I'll share a majority of this on today's show, since we shall also be talking about the tunnels and, that they were discovered in New York City and all that. When you talk about cannibalism, child trafficking, it's all connected. So let me share this very quickly as we get to move on still on more matters. I don't know. I think what this of the history of this kit has also had kids teaching us about this, where the Black Indians, the Black Chinese, like first race of what we see today, it was all Black Indians, Chinese, all that. But majority of this history again is not spoken about. But let me highlight a little bit of this.
It could be a village anywhere in Africa. Locals celebrating with their centuries-old music and dance. Jambur is 1 million miles from the continent, and these apparent Africans are in fact Indians whose ancestors have lived here in Gujarat state for up to 1,000 years. Known as Siddhis, this tribe of African descent retains few links with its mysterious past. They know nothing.
They do not even know. I want to pause on that because I don't feel like it's not just them not knowing how they ended up there. It's us understanding that we've been the first people in creation, being the first people in this world to ever exist, like Kid says, we were everywhere. We existed everywhere. If the first Indian was a black man, the first Chinese was a black man, all this. And this is why you see these historical moments are also hidden, because for them, they do not even know their existence and why they found themselves there. But you find that they know majority of the history of the Indians, the fake Indians, because that's who they are. These are the original Indians. And this is why you see their history is barely known about. Because they do not even know about themselves. This is so sad and at the same time interesting, let me tell you.
One thing that ties them to their unique heritage.
And people, when you say we are all connected, it is what this guy is just trying to explain. If you go to every part of the world where you find a black community, you'll always hear of different types of traditions. They talk about, you know, even when you go to Brazil, I think we spoke about it some time back, where we still have some Brazilians who practice this kind of dances, traditional cultures, you know, heritages and all that. But it is so sad again because of the people who control the world. All this history is hidden. It is hidden. I want to do much more research on that particular information, especially the Indian part of it. I want to do much more research on that and do a full presentation about it, because this is so interesting. But shout out to Kabsi in the building. Nice to see you. You're saying that I look like a what? I look like an Indian. Are you serious? Are you confusing my wig and an Indian? Because if it's my wig you're talking about, then I think you're lost. But anyway, Karibu Sana. Shout out to you also, Freedom Media. Nice to see you. Shout out to you, Chef Ranches, Karibu, and also shout out to Ben Alice and to everyone with me or other passing by right here on TikTok. Shout out to also HR the Messenger in the building. I also see K Williams says Joby moving up in the world, doing it big time. Yeah, as we should, and that's on period. And I also see you saying that what is he saying? I did translate. That guy is speaking of how and embracing. Usually, he's just promoting self-hate. The African people, majority of us don't know we have. I think that's it. I think majority of the African people don't know even when they are literally embracing self-hate amongst themselves. Because when you're saying, I don't want to marry my very own or women from my county, my culture, my tribe, I want to go now to the in-laws who I can take a flight, you know, I want to go make mulattoes and all that. You literally you despise yourself. That is the simplest term I can use. You despise yourself. You can't stand yourself. You can't stand your race. You can't even stand your tribe, which you so much embrace. You can't. And this is so sad. This is where Africans are getting to. You no longer even can't stand your tribe. You now want to go to the mzungu. Tuende kwenye wakwe. Tukipanda ndege yani. Wasikie. Those are the terms. Those are the words. That is what he was speaking about. And that's what I'm saying again with just what I shared. Where we have that guy explaining of cannibalism, where when they used to, for them to, they were trying to literally consume parts of our bodies, which they still do even up to date, wanting to be us. But it has never happened. It has never happened. But I also see you saying, K. Williams, too many damnicities. And also CHR says that they don't want us to remember who we are. Exactly. And I believe this is why we have these parts of these Indian people who do not recognize of their history. But like I said, I'm going to do much more research on this, especially during the weekend, and see what the details are literally being brought forward, and pick what I can pick and all that. But going through the comments of it, I saw some people are saying that just like the Jewish black people, the real Jews, but a face of colonizer as the Jews. That is the truth, because we speak about the fake Jews today, who we see right now are controlling the world, the fake Jews, Israelites, and all that. But if you talk about the true Jews who are black people, they destroyed all this history. They chased away and wiped away all the people right there so that this history cannot be known. It tells you a lot where African we need to literally dig deeper about some things we don't even know. But I also see someone else was saying that we are everywhere. Our people were scattered across the earth. And that is the fact. And that's why I'm saying if you go to every part of the world, basically, if you look at a black community, because there's always a community, I believe that. There's always a black community built somewhere where they know we need to be united. For the few who know, we need to be in one place in case of anything, so we can literally be able to conquer anything coming together. Because that was Africa before, where they moved by unity. That is the true African history. And I do agree with you. We are everywhere, but at the same time, they don't want us to remember who we are because they want to hide all this history, you know. They want to tell us like the way my stepmom used to tell us, you know, mababu zetu walipanda tu meli, wengine wakaanguka kwenye maji wakakufa and all that. Like, we're not really given the true facts, you know. It is super, super crazy. But also someone else was saying that every race comes from the black race. We didn't come from them. Exactly. Yes, exactly. Every race comes from the black race. We didn't come from them. Not this Adam and Eve nonsense that I was sharing today on WhatsApp chat. If majority of you have seen the image I shared when I was saying welcome to Kenya, because it's only in Kenya you find this kind of madness. And let me try read it. Let me try read that what we had this scientist of our very own, what he was saying. Is a scientific consensus who says that there is a show or other details that shows that Adam and Eve lived in Turkana. This is in the northern parts of Kenya. Of course, this was debated on today on the Vibe Show. If you are tuned in, you did catch up a little bit of it. But the guy says that there is a scientific facts that show Adam and Eve lived in Turkana, and this is the home of the original man, and that is why the first black man to rule America was Kenyan, Luo. I think by this time this is why they think again Obama, because that's what that is where my attention was drawn. The first man to rule America was Kenyan and is Luo. It is only in Kenya where we had a black American president who came and claimed to be from our very own tribe, you know? It is super, super crazy. But also, the Yonta even says that Moses in the Bible was a Kikuyu from Mount Kenya, Sinai, and the Kalenjins are the true Israelites. Iko swali. So I wonder why he's asking us a question after being historical, you know? It is super, super crazy. So Africans need to dig deeper when it comes to our history. There's a lot of facts that we are really missing. There's a lot of truth that we need to be taught. We need to teach each other. Because once again, this is why you see, and I want to share this, a video that Nas spoke about when he was on an interview somewhere. I don't know where, but it was in 2008. And he shared this fact about Africa, which again, if you look at both in the continent and outside the continent, we've been talking about this for a while. There is misinformation about the two different parts of the world where we believe Black Americans are living their lavish life. We're not taught about the racism. We're not taught about the white supremacy. Like I said, some people do not even understand what the term white supremacy is. There's some who do not understand what is this you're talking about. I mean, what is that? You're talking about white people, the white people being superior. I mean, these are the kind of things you hear maybe people debating, assuming. But I want to share this video by Nas, the rapper, who says all the notions that were given about Africa, especially to Black Americans, is all a lie, where there's diseases, full of poverty, and all that. Africa history is not a horror story, because that is what they describe it, as a horror story. But let me share this.
It's like, you know what it is, you know, it's like the birthplace where I've only been in Africa like...
At least he's come to Africa 3 times. I'm sorry to say, but I've seen majority of these Black American artists in the industry, planted people, or any of these Black American artists, especially those who are back their root comes from here. Like, shout out to someone like Idris Elba, the British actor. I mean, the nerve, the audacity of calling himself a British actor. You're a whole Ghanaian, but you won't embrace yourself being one. And that is the same thing with the first video you see I'm sharing, where Africans, I think they embrace self-hate without even knowing they are embracing self-hate. That is a very good connection of the dots, actually. Idris Elba is one of them. He is literally embracing self-hate without even knowing he is. And I mean, it makes sense because him being controlled, him being funded, him being who he is, he had to be a coon. But that aside, there's so many rappers I've not seen, so many artists who do not talk about coming to Africa because of how the history of Africa has been told. I love Samawaka because I always listen to most of our interviews, and she says, my retirement is going to be back in the continent of Africa. And she's for real. And we want to see majority of that happening.
Birthday. And I went there like twice for like a corporate show, sort of like people scared. There's horror stories about Africa that's out of this world. There's stories that you get on the plane, you get bit by mosquitoes. If you're driving down the street.
Exactly. The same thing I had Kevin Hart explain, the same thing, the same words. Him being a cool industry plant and all that. But I had him on one interview. I think he once came to South Africa. Then he was like, yo, the African history is not the way it's told. Especially to us, the Black Americans, it's all a lie. The same thing. Oh, when you get off a plane, you're going to be bitten by mosquitoes, you're going to get sick. That is the first expression and impression I've had of Black American people, those who do not literally know much about Africa and the people.
There's horror stories that scared people from going to Africa before I was around. And when I finally got there, you know, I didn't know what to expect. You know, you never gonna have enough security, so I didn't bring much. I probably brought one person, and you know, brought my drink. You know, it's theirs anyway. So I went there and I figured out there's been a lot of lies told to American people about what's going on up there. And one thing about us African Americans and Africans, we don't communicate. We don't talk. We don't see a reason to talk.
True. African Americans and Africans back in the continent, there is lack of communication. And this has been made on purpose, I believe so. I believe this is also an agenda, you know, where they don't want Black Americans and the Africans to connect because they know the Black Americans and the Africans, if they connect, this is actually history being brought together where we're studying and trying to understand we're all connected, we're all the same people. It is literally just all about learning. And I believe that is what they're trying to prevent. Because I love to use an expression of someone like majority of you, but right here on the Blackout Fire, who are our audience. It's always a shock every time we share majority of the information coming from the continent. But at the same time, you've been able to understand what the agenda is all about, which majority of us won't. And this is why you see misinformation comes in between. And I love when he says that, you know, we do not communicate. We do not see the reason to communicate because there's that division, divide and conquer mission that really did take place and it's still very active. And this is why maybe for you as a Black American, you'd get very mad very quickly if you hear an African telling you, oh, you guys get it easy, you know, you have your way very easy. But getting to understand and learning the truth every single day, there's racism, there's discrimination, the white supremacy top, nailing you down. She's super insane. But that is just a few things I wanted to share on those videos. And I hope for those who shall be catching this on a replay, if you are especially new right here, get to educate your people, especially if you are on the continent and you understand majority of this brainwashing, because that is what it is. Share with your people. Understand you literally trying to fit in the white supremacy, of trying to fit in the white community is not going to serve you best. It's either you're going to end up being used because they're always looking for a coon, that is one, or you're going to be destroyed. They're going to put racism or be racist against you. They're going to practice cannibalism against you or upon you. I remember the video we shared some time back of that Chinese man who we had a black man on a certain apartment. Then they were debating on the WhatsApp chat how they want to eat him during the pandemic, you remember? So they're all the same. Could it be Indian? Could it be Chinese? Could it be Korean, Japanese, European? I mean, they're all the same. That is just simple as that. But moving on quickly to the major focus of the day. It was about Burundi. And yeah, that is Nas K. Williams. That is him. And I love when I see majority of the Black American artists come out and speak about this. Shout out to you, Anthony Taylor. Karibu sana, as it is. And of course, Karibu sana. This is a radio station, so welcome. Moving on to Burundi, like I said, this is an article, rather some news that came out that was last year. And Katie debated on this, and I'm not sure of the majority of the facts because it is not clear of what is happening between Rwanda and Burundi borders. Because I think it was 2 weeks ago, we heard that there's some, you know, soldiers who just went to the border and started attacking a couple of people. But right now, I see that actually Burundi has came out and it's saying that it is going to shut its borders with Burundi as a bad neighbor. Rwanda has been on the highlight for so long, and I think we should say for the last 2 decades, for 20 years, Kagame has always been on debate. Shout out to Museveni as well for what they have been doing in DRC Congo. The people know, the news does not know, but the people know, but the news does not know. Let me just keep it that simple, yeah? But Burundi has closed its borders with Rwanda after accusing its neighbor of funding rebel attacks. And am I surprised about this, especially when the term funding comes in? I'm not. Because Kagame is capable of doing anything, and we have to literally we need to understand why is it that Rwanda or why Burundi is being attacked. That is one thing we need. There's always a cause of everything, especially when you hear Africa or some parts of Africa are being terrorized. There's always something that is always being seeked in that particular country. They say in the last December, Red Tabara, a Burundian rebel group, killed 20 people near the border with the Democratic Republic of Congo, and Rwanda President Paul Kagame denies the charge, but Burundi government has branded him as a bad neighbor, and they say that we have stopped ties with him until he changes his behavior. That is the Burundian Interior Minister, who goes by the name Martin Ntereses, and Burundi President Evariste Nyandishimye. Can't pronounce his name correctly, but they say he made the accusation in December following the attack, and the Rwanda government responded that it regrets the unilateral closure of the border by Burundi, according to the AFP, and it said that the border closure was an unfortunate decision which violated the principles of the regional cooperation and the integration of East Africa community. Red Tabara admitted to carrying out the December attack, but said they had only killed 9 soldiers and only 1 police officer. And I remember, of course, those were the details Katie shared. That was a few weeks ago, where only soldiers were the ones attacked, but I don't know about civilians. But we hear literally the Burundian government saying that 20 people were killed. So nearly 20 people, it could be the soldiers and also some civilians. We're not sure about the details. But they also add that the group operates from DRC Congo, South Kivu province bordering Burundi, and it is not immediately clear whether the border closure includes both air both land and air. In 2015, Burundi closed its border to Rwanda due to political tensions, and then because of COVID-19, 7 years later, the borders reopened. During the time, only land crossing were permitted, but the airline carrier Rwanda Air never stopped its commercial flights to Burundi. Relations between Rwanda and Burundi have been tensions, despite their having similar language, ethnic composition, and colonial history. Well, having same colonial history, similar language doesn't count or doesn't change a thing, so long as I'm not in peace. If I'm not in peace, that is a problem. So what I'm connecting from this is that it's not clear, one, if the 20 people killed, it's among the civilians or it's civilians included, because again, still information given by BBC 2 weeks ago, because I remember vividly it was 2 weeks ago, we had only 9 soldiers who were killed and 1 police officer, because I remember Katie presenting that very, very well. So what is happening between Burundi and Rwanda, we're not really sure, but I'm certain Kagame could be literally involved in this. This is coming from the parts of DRC Congo, that is the southern Kivu. So yes, this is Kagame to handle. This is for him to literally take charge of and control of this, or for him to finally face charges of what is happening, because there's no way we're going to be having back and forth clashes or people dying because of the Western countries' beneficiaries or them benefiting, because it is always a life lost because the West wants to benefit. What is happening in DRC Congo is because the West has been benefiting through Rwanda, and this is why you see Rwanda is doing amazing. A question again that Kami posed: how is it that the rest of the African countries do not look like this, but only Rwanda is that developed? Where is this guy getting the money that these other countries are not getting? We are literally in the East African region. Why wouldn't we be able to communicate and work together? Why is it that only one country is moving forward and the others are stuck? Something needs to be questioned, and it has to come from us, the civilians. Why is it that we don't see Rwandese talking about what is happening in their country? It's rare, actually, to hear anything from Burundi. So meaning, this is true. This could be a true accusation if this is rooted or coming from DRC Congo. This is all funded, or this is part of the funding that Kagame and Museveni have been doing to literally ensure that the parts of DRC Congo, the southern Kivu, shall not know peace. That is my thoughts on that. I don't know about you guys' thoughts, but that is basically what personally I think. And I do actually believe it's a high time African people, for the sake of people of DRC Congo, and I'd love to share this. This is something that I love what Ibrahim Traoré is literally doing. He's really doing amazing. This guy is doing amazing. He's come out because I remember I shared a video of him making a speech on Monday. He made a speech of the new year to the people and told them, we're surely going to implement and ensure everything we've promised you, it's going to come to be. We're not just talking, we are doing it. And so far, so good. I mean, how many positive things have I read about Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso? Very well. Now, I've seen him calling the African countries for people to come and join hands and form strong military groups. Let me see if I can find this, and I believe these are all African needs. Let me see. Okay, let me try. I don't know if I'm gonna find it, but let me know what you guys think about this. But I see we got who? Anthony Taylor says, shout out to you, DJ Brothers. Love Shout out to you, Arap Laga. Shout out to you, Online Writing Account. Shout out to you, Mary Mesetu. Hope you guys are doing great. And of course, thank you so much for tuning in. Anthony Taylor says, speak out loud of Kabisa. And that's what we're basically doing. Thank you so much for sharing the live as well. Anthony Taylor says that what is your heart and mind telling you? Regarding the situation, that is what I think personally. That's what I'm saying. I'd love to also watch your thoughts because, I mean, explain to me why, or if you understand what has been happening in DRC Congo. Because, you know, it's Museveni and Kagame who are behind this. But nobody has come forth, not even the International Criminal Court ever called them. Not even none of these African leaders. As a matter of fact, I remember also Katie reporting this. Our very own dear President William Ruto said he shall not be involved in anything happening in DRC Congo. I can't remember clearly the details, but I remember just him saying no. He shall not, it was for him to arrest, I don't know, with certain type of group, but he said no, he shall not arrest anyone, any group that is participating in DRC Congo. He shall not call for any arrest of anyone in DRC Congo. That was William Ruto. But we paused on that. Now we see, because being honest, it's been, I don't know the last time I've never even reported anything about Burundi personally. Never, ever. Since I started my journalism career, but I've never. It's very rare you hear Burundi being on board in any news broadcasts or even right here on TikTok. It's very rare. Very rare. But make me understand why we have the government of Burundi accusing Rwanda and calling it a bad neighbor after 20 people were killed. And I think majority or among the 20 people, the 11 people could be civilians. Because again, understand we don't control the information, the news, the social medias. It is all controlled because they know what information should be out and what they want people to think. It starts like this because we saw also in Burkina Faso, when we had Ibrahim Traoré now pushing down or withdrawing the French magazine from the country. He said they shall no longer be receiving any French magazines. They shut down all the TVs controlled by France and all that, usually all this. And since then, they've been updating their own news. They've been nationalizing, or the nation has been giving us information of what is happening. And this is the true details. Because I remember him coming out and saying, France is fueling and gaslighting the number of people who have been killed in my country so that they can come and intervene and say that the situation is out of hand. That is what they try to do. That is what they always do. They always literally gaslight the numbers or try exaggerate the numbers so that they can come, they can call the UN and the fake EU to come and intervene in other Africans' problems, which is them who have caused. So my understanding on this, and I'd love to hear from you. Shout out to you, Keith. I see you also in the building. Karibu sana. Shout out to Africa Kid. Shout out to Beatrice Saboge. But I also see Anthony says Sabonji. Karibu sana. Such a hard name. But anyway, Anthony says reasons beyond your control. Hey, reasons beyond your control. Hey, okay, I don't understand what you're saying, but I don't think we're on the same page. Or maybe you're scared to talk. I think you're just scared to talk and give your opinion. I don't know. But that is my thought. That is my thought. That is the reason beyond my control. And of course, because we can't do anything beyond this. And that's why we're saying we need to call for unity upon Africans. And that's why I'm looking for this video. Let me see if I can find it. Of what Ibrahim Traoré did. That was a few hours ago, calling upon Africans to come and unite, those who are willing to fight for independency and help Burkina Faso attain independence. Fight these funded military groups. That is what needs to happen. So let me share this video. And shout out to everyone with me on YouTube. And Anthony says the violence. It is. But what do you think Burundi should do? Because first step wamefanya ni kufunga border. So I don't know what you think they should do. Because I think that's a good step. But it doesn't mean it's going to stop if Kagame is the one behind this, it's not going to stop him because Mindu is funded. Check the worth of this man and look at his country and check his history that is barely spoken about on the mainstream media. Look at the videos which we've had DRC Congo accusing Kagame of what he's done. Then try connect the dots from there. Listen to just this man's talk. If you listen to politicians who understand politics, you'd get what I'm saying. But let me try to share this very quickly. I'll try translate because I'll just share the video and just read the article because from the video is, I think they're talking French.
Ils font parfois face des
Basically, what it is saying, this is an article, rather a presentation done by the one and only Ioni BB. Is a presenter of Burkina Faso, and he says Burkina Faso needs you because one of the things they're doing is that Burkina Faso log leaked, and Axel Press, world champion, has flexed his muscle in support of his country's army. In this recruitment drive video, he urges his compatriots to back the soldiers in their war against the extremist militants who are occupied in the southwest of the country. And he also pulls a shark army vehicle at the mud. Literally, you can see from the video. And what I'm getting from this is that this guy, even from when he was talking, because I was reading his caption when he was trying to, give his expression on what they expect from people. He's calling upon unity from African people. If you are in Congo, if you are in Kenya, if you are in Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, if you really know you can stand and fight for Burkina Faso, the same way you're supposed to fight for the rest of the African countries, they're calling upon you. Go be recruited. And this is like a job opportunity, it sounds like, because that is one of the ways of creating job opportunity, if I'm not wrong. Because I'm certain Burkina Faso is not doing this for free. It's not recruiting just people to use them. That is another form of creating opportunity. So think about it. And that is my show of today. I'm coming towards the end. But good rising to you, to John Mosquito. Good afternoon from my end. But you've come in too late. You can check out the rest of the episode on repeat on the Google, not on the Google, but on Rumble, on BitChute. I meant BitChute. And also on YouTube, rather on Facebook. So much love. Shout out to you also, Maurice. Shout out to Trevor. Asanteni sana for being with me. Shout out to also K. Williams for being with me, and to my amazing silent listeners. You've been majority of you right here on YouTube, but you've not complimented on anything. But I still appreciate for you catching up. I believe it's very early, but I'm grateful. Anthony says, gather up all the information and put the puzzle together to create the bigger picture. You should, because I know the puzzle. I know the puzzle. I understand politics very well, baby. So you do. I know, because you've not given me your thoughts clearly on this matter, because I think you're scared. That's me thoughts, okay? But we can still have this debate, because we do this every Monday to Friday from 12:30 to 1:30. But today I'm a little bit late, but still, you go picture the picture, because I have the picture already, all right? I do. But much love, family. Thank you once again, and see you guys later when you see me. I'll be wrapping it up with this amazing jam, and this is by the one and only Calligraph Jones, Minimal Pressure. Have an amazing weekend. See you guys tonight on the Africa Today show.
African Police show every Monday to Friday, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m.
Yeah, I want to have a debate with you, by the way. Check it. Ebony DM. I want to have a debate with you. You look interesting. I like you.
Yeah, one thing I'm learning about this life, but never tolerate what you dislike. Yeah, don't from a chick fight, right? It's like the